Trump has hit the 2024 campaign trail. Now, we've all known this. He hit it a few months ago. He popped into Iowa. He talked about Ron Desantis, AKA DeSanctimonious, Senator Mitch McConnell, and his ending remarks were eerie. It went pretty much how we would expect because it's coming from Donald J. Trump. Take a look.
Ron DeSantis, did anyone ever hear of DeSantis, the sanctimonious? He was very, very bad on ethanol, and he fought it all the way, and he also fought against Social Security. He wanted to decimate it and voted against it 3 times. He wanted the minimum retirement age to be lifted to people that are 70 years old, a substantial increase over what it is right now. That's a big increase. And to be honest with you, Ron reminds me a lot of Mitt Romney. So I don't think you're going to be doing so well here, but we're going to find out. But those are the facts.
Oh, those are the facts, baby. Let's put Olay up. I'm gonna, so that was a super cut from MSNBC. Thank you, MSNBC, for that, of Trump tearing Governor Ron DeSanctimonious apart as we knew that he would. I don't think Governor DeSantis is ready for this street fighter. The ultimate insult is being a comparison to Mitt Romney. Donald J. Trump is very good at insulting people, but don't let Trump fool you because Republicans are coming for Social Security. He knows this, Olay. He knows this. So that false populism, he's separating himself from the other Republicans by talking about Social Security. Vice President Pence, former Vice President Pence, was all up in the media a few weeks ago touting the cuts too. So
there's a lot to unpack there. You could honestly study that in an English class there's a lot of different like rhetorical devices and things that he's doing there that honestly is impressive when you actually think of it on the insidious level that it is. First, I want to say he's missing an opportunity to call Ron DeSantis the struggle. Like the struggle is sitting right there. It's right there. Just reach out, Trump, and grab it. The struggle. I'll let you have it. Go with the struggle. That's one. 2. This is what he's doing by invoking Mitt Romney is very clever, actually, because what he's doing, Trump speaks to a base, the Republican base, that wants to be in a different world from what Republican politics were, right? When I was growing up, there used to be a time when Republicans used to feign decency and they used to, move within, at least pretend to move within the rules. They would, they weren't as absurd and ridiculous. They used to pretend to have an ideology that they actually believed in, right? That's why they used to be like pro-life. Now they're like, they're just out here like, yeah, kill everybody, do whatever you gotta do. They're just completely hanging off the edge. And I think that's why they brought up Mitt Romney, because for the people that still want, they want Trump because they don't want the Republican Party to go back, right? There are a lot of Republicans that are like, okay, after the insurrection, after Trump, after how that went, we need to try and reach and cling for some level of normalcy. And so there are people I know there are a lot of Republicans that are leaving the party because they miss the times of the Mitt Romney, right? They miss when Mitt Romney seemed like the worst thing we had to deal with because they could more easily rally support around a more reasonable character, which is why DeSantis is a much more dangerous demon to us, right? I think DeSantis is way more dangerous than a Trump. Exactly, because people at least know, people already galvanized around, I'm terrified of Trump, we want Trump out. But DeSantis, they might sleep on this. People who aren't paying attention don't realize what an insidious demon he is because he gives us the appearance of the Mitt Romney time. So he's trying to invoke to his audience, hey, they're trying to take us back. We want us forward. We want this more radical right-wing thing. So that's what he's doing by coming for him and making that Mitt Romney comparison, which is actually very clever for an idiot demon. Very clever.
Very clever for an idiot demon. Oh my God, we got a new name. Look, President Trump out here naming folks. Olayemi gave him a name.
That's what he is. That's what he is.
Yes. Y'all don't buy it, but yeah, I mean, you're right, Olay. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, he really, to quote the urban poet Tupac, yeah, he really getting into the head of his base, and he understands exactly what he is doing. Now, even though President Donald J. Trump is saying the sanctimonious wants to cut Social Security and all those other Republicans engaged in it, look, he not far off the mark. He right on the mark because the Republicans in the Congress, despite what they said during the State of the Union, as they were yelling back and forth, trying to do a little call and response action at the State of the Union when the president was giving his speech, basically saying, you lie. When the president said that it is true, they want to, and they are disguising that as necessary budget cuts,
which is tickling
for the debt ceiling. I mean, that's what they're doing.
which I think is tickling because Republicans disguise all of their attacks on socialism and welfare and anything that's designed to help people. All of that is always about racial pretense and bigotry, and it's always very clear, but they thinly veil it when they package it when they're talking to us. But the minute they get into a private room, the minute when Trump is talking to the working class white people that are his base, that for whatever really love him, immediately it becomes, you like all of those. No, we can't have people trying to take away your Social Security. They trying to make you work longer. They trying to do all these different things that if they were talking about on the mainstream, talking to where anywhere else, if Democrats were talking about, if we were talking about it, it would be a welfare state and handout and bootstraps. But when he gets in the comfort of, hey, white people, we need this. We need all these benefits and all these things that you have in your societies and your communities to protect you. So I think it's interesting when you know your entire party is galvanized against this in the mainstream. Very, very, very hot.
Very, very, very hot. And this headline right here, in terms of what the conservatives are trying to do, conservatives lay out debt limit demands as House Republicans split on a strategy. The plan involves undoing most of President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. It's not clear it has the votes in the GOP-led House, and even if it does, it's a non-starter in the Senate. NBC News is reporting, thank God, the Republicans did not win both chambers. Hell, they shouldn't have won the House of Representatives, but here we are. The Freedom Caucus, chaired by Representative Scott Perry, a Republican from PA, proposed nixing. This is it. This is what they want to do. Biden's $400 billion in student debt relief, rescinding unspent COVID-19 funds, cutting the climate change funding, and $80 billion for added IRS enforcement under the Inflation Reduction Act, and capping discretionary spending at fiscal 2022 levels for a decade. So that's what these special people are up to.